Hello everyone, I am Matthew and I will be refuting my opponent's claim that the sale of mature rated video games should have an increase in regulations. But before I begin, I would like to state my main points. First, there's already a system established that actually is very descriptive in defining what content is in the game. Second, stores and other major retailers check to ensure that minors do not have access to these games when they are selling or showing or displaying the games. 3, the majority of the gamers who play games are not minors at all. 4, states have already tried to implement rules about regulating mature games. 5, that increased rules for developers, increasing the rules, especially for a natural level, can harm the creativity behind game creation and thus ultimately ruin the whole medium entirely. And 6, parents should be responsible for what their parents play and not the government or any other medium. Okay. First, I'll speak about the ESRB. Okay. The ESRB was founded in 1994 as the first means of actually regulating all video games, but it also rates softwares and basically anything electronic. Okay. And contrary to what my opponent has said, that the ESRB is actually quite descriptive when it comes to labeling what's actually in a video game. Some of which it rivals even that of the movie agencies. For example, in a typical movie, you can see explicit violent sexual content, but they don't go what could possibly cause it. In video games, they go even farther to say that there's also a chance that there might be a reference of tobacco or alcohol, and as well as there's a chance that there is some. They even rate whether or not if it's real blood or fake blood. By fake, I just mean fantasy. They are very descriptive on what is and what is not in a video game. Okay. Back to my second point, video game retailers actually do pay attention to what they sell. When it comes to selling video games, the ESRB clearly makes sure that they have guidelines for everyone who purchases video games. According to their website, they provide specific retailers like GameStop or EB Games a detailed code for training new employees on how to sell games, and they're supposedly required for all employees are required to check for ID no matter what age for a mature game. Let's see. To my third point, a majority of people who play video games are not minors, and that enacting any stricter regulations would be completely worthless and just add more bureaucracy that would just confuse and be utterly unnecessary. According to some statistics recently taken by the ESA, 62% of all people who play console games are well over the age of 18, and that number is increased to those who play the PC, whereas they have up to 66% are adults, and they are well and mature and capable of playing these violent or whatever content may be in a video game that is rated mature. To my fourth claim, there have been attempts that my opponent has recognized. What he failed to specify is which state actually enacted it. And because Illinois attempted this passing this law in 2005, other states decided to try as well. There have been several states, including, let's see, Mississippi, Maryland, Connecticut, and most recently, California, have joined in an attempt to control the sale of more mature video games. The Illinois was the first to actually implement a fine for stores. Unlike that, California has made it has taken a far more dramatic approach than Illinois, which is simply to target the store. For the California approach, they're trying to target the games themselves and less about the stores which sell the games. The rules for the California are very much going after anything that is considered a violent video game, and not towards a mature audience. A mature video game has material beyond it. I know. I just want to get a quote down. Let's see. The problem with targeting something like violence is violence in video games is often used as a medium to describe an event. Much than like a main character dying in a movie, violence is used as a tool to help a person relate to the game. As Electronics Art Studio John Riccitello states that if every state passed this law, he said we can end up with state level bureaucracies defining what's marketable in 50 jurisdictions, and exclaims that imagine the government trying to tell Spielberg we need 50 cuts of your movie for each state, and he just said after exclaiming that the thought of having 50 different versions of one game, that would just screw up his company. And that's if you enact laws like the Californias, if you try to implement those, you're cutting off creativity toward the developers, and you're hurting the medium as a whole. Thank you.